Authorities said that the death toll had risen to 82 following flash floods in central Texas, which ripped apart the area and washed homes off their foundations. BRICS condemned the increase of tariffs and attacks on Iran, but refrained from naming US President Donald Trump directly.
Reinstated border controls with Germany and Lithuania in response to similar measures imposed by Berlin.
Some parts of Western Europe cool off after days of extreme heat, but weather authorities warn risk remain.
Authorities said that the death toll had risen to 82 following flash floods in central Texas, which ripped apart the area and washed homes off of their foundations. Texas's governor said at least 41 people are confirmed to be missing. This includes 10 campers and a counsellor from a Christian summer camp. He also warned that more heavy rainfall expected to last until Tuesday could lead to more dangerous conditions in the area. US President Donald Trump signed a major disaster declaration for the affected region, saying the families had endured an unimaginable tragedy. The Guadalupe River surged more than 8 meters in just 45 minutes on Friday, destroying homes, camps and vehicles. Texas authorities used helicopters, boats and drones to look for victims and missing people. Officials said over 850 people were rescued in the first 36 hours. Authorities face growing scrutiny over whether enough warnings were issued in an area vulnerable to flooding. They defended their actions, stating they had not expected such an intense downpour, which was equivalent to months' worth of rain for the area. The BRICS bloc of developing economies condemned the increase of tariffs and attacks on Iran, but refrained from naming US President Donald Trump directly at their summit in Brazil. The bloc issued a declaration in which they raised serious concerns about the rise of tariffs, which it said threatened to reduce global trade, disrupt global supply chains and introduce uncertainty. In their 31-page declaration, the group took aim at Israeli military actions in the Middle East, spared its founding member Russia from criticism and mentioned war-torn Ukraine only once.
Se a governança internacional não reflete a nova realidade multipolar do século XXI, cabe aos BRICS contribuir para a sua atualização. Sua representatividade e diversidade o torna uma força capaz de promover a paz e de prevenir e mediar conflitos.
Despite Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva's push to spotlight issues such as artificial intelligence and climate change at the summit, it has been marked by the absence of several key leaders. This includes its two most powerful members, Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Relief from extreme heat began to reach areas of Western Europe during the weekend, bringing cooler temperatures and thunderstorms after days of record-breaking heat waves. Germany reported a maximum daytime temperature of 24 degrees Celsius on Sunday, while Spain and Italy also saw temperatures averaging around 27 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius. In Belgium and Luxembourg, buckets of rain fell as temperatures took a dip and clouds dominated the sky. The cool-off came as a big relief to many, as severe heat waves in southern Europe have caused temperatures to rise above 40 degrees Celsius. As the deadly heat wave moved east, meteorologists warned that the danger is, however, far from over. On Sunday, officials in Germany issued warnings of spreading forest fires on the border between Saxony and Brandenburg as firefighters battled flames that broke out last week. While in Portugal, authorities put 2/3 of the country on high alert for extreme heat and wildfires. According to the World Meteorological Organization, WMO, we will have to learn to live with more frequent and intense heat waves as a result of climate change.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu headed to the US to meet with US President Donald Trump for talks on a new ceasefire deal for the war in Gaza. Trump has pushed for an initial 60-day ceasefire deal. It would reportedly involve the partial release of hostages held by Hamas in Gaza, as well as increased aid allowed into the territory.
העסקה הזאת שדובר עליה, בתנאים שאנחנו הסכמנו לה, שלחתי צוות למשא ומתן עם הנחיות ברורות, ואני חושב שהשיחה עם הנשיא טראמפ יכולה בהחלט לעזור לקדם את התוצאה הזאת שכולנו מייחלים לה.
Israel has reportedly accepted the deal, and Hamas released a statement saying their reaction was positive. Israel sent a negotiating team to hold hostage deal talks with Hamas amid the ongoing diplomatic efforts.
The Greek islands of Gavdos and Crete continue to be under pressure from the massive flows of illegal migrants. According to Greek authorities, more than 750 migrants were intercepted in the sea area south of Gavdos in operations under the supervision of the Joint Coordination Center for Search and Rescue. The largest operation was recorded off the southeast of Gavdos, where 430 people on board an overloaded fishing vessel were recovered with the cooperation of a Coast Guard patrol boat and a tanker flying the flag of Panama. Local officials described the situation on the island of Crete as suffocating, as thousands of illegal migrants continue to pour in on the island. More than 8,000 illegal migrants have been reported this year, according to official records, an increase of over 250% compared to the same period last year. Thousands of Buddhist devotees flocked to the Himalayan town of Dharamshala in India on Sunday to celebrate the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday. The spiritual leader of the Tibetan Buddhism, who's been living in exile since escaping Chinese authority in Tibet in 1959. Dressed in a traditional robe and a flowing yellow wrap, the Dalai Lama was escorted to the temple courtyard by a group of monks. Celebrations were also held in Kathmandu, Nepal, where hundreds of Tibetan refugees, monks, and foreign diplomats marked the day with Buddhist prayers, chanting, and dancing. Recognized worldwide in his red robes and wired smile, the 14th Dalai Lama describes himself as a simple Buddhist monk. But millions of Tibetan Buddhists worship him as the living manifestation of the Buddhist God of compassion. Tens of thousands of revelers packed the main square in Pamplona in northern Spain on Sunday to celebrate as the San Fermin bull running festival kicked off. This year's edition officially began with the Chupinazo firework blast, which was dedicated to the Palestinian cause, a symbolic tradition dating back to the early 20th century. Nearly everyone, including the throngs of foreign tourists who came to the event, was dressed in the traditional garb of white trousers and shirt with a red sash and neckerchief. The 9-day festival is famed for its bull runs, which starting on Monday will see thousands of people sprint to avoid 6 bulls charging along a winding cobblestone route to the city's bull ring. Despite the controversy surrounding this and protest by animal rights campaigners, over time the festival has evolved into a spectacle that captivates people globally.
Poland reinstated border controls with Germany and Lithuania in response to similar measures imposed by Berlin. The Polish Interior Ministry said the checks were aimed at those involved in illegally smuggling migrants across the border. They are scheduled to last for a period of 30 days, but the Polish government has not ruled out extending them.
It is important, and let me add that neighbouring countries with temporary border controls coordinate closely with each other to limit the impact of these border controls to a minimum, including as regards smooth traffic flows. The Commission stands ready to facilitate cooperation and coordination as necessary, and the Schengen coordinator of the Commission is already in close contact at technical level with authorities of all Schengen member states concerned.
The EU legislation states that member states are allowed to introduce temporary internal border controls under certain conditions, such as in times of serious threat. Poland's decision comes after Germany first imposed controls on its borders in 2023 to combat human trafficking and curb irregular migration.